The United States has been the largest economy in the world since 1871, when England was still in charge. Yet, even though the US economy was larger than England's in 1871, it took another 73 years for the US dollar to be the world's reserve currency. In fact, the US had to be 300% the size of England's economy for the American dollar to become the world's reserve currency. China is nowhere near this level. And I don't think China wants its currency, the yuan, to be the global reserve because it would mess up the low prices that China charges to sell their exports. China wouldn't want their currency, which is called the yuan, to be the world's reserve currency because it would give the country a lot more trouble in manipulating it. China doesn't want their currency, which is called the yuan, to be the world's reserve currency because then they wouldn't be able to control it, and it would probably also increase the demand for yuan, which would make their currency more expensive, which would make their exports more expensive, and that would be very bad for the Chinese economy. Now, take a look at this infographic from Visual Capitalist showing all of these countries with a line connected to their main trading partner. So the US has about, let's say, 30 countries that consider the US their main trading partner, but China has over 60. And you can see that China trade-wise is much more connected to other countries in the world than the US. I was pretty impressed by Germany too. I mean, look what they got. Now, a lot of people would look at this and say, oh no, the US is doomed. But no, because a lot of China's largest trading partners like Japan and South Korea are the strongest US allies. Another reason why China is so interlinked to all of these other countries for trade is that China is one of the largest importers of food and other raw materials in the world. China is still the world's largest factory, meaning they have to import every kind of material known to man from any country in the world that has it, and then they have to export whatever they're making to every country in the world that needs their product, and that's a lot of them. A lot of the countries that are China's largest trading partners are heavy OPEC countries because China is very reliant on oil. The US is not reliant on foreign oil. In fact, the US is the largest producer of oil in the world, topping Saudi Arabia this year by in 2021, by about 6 million barrels. Remember that the US is the world's largest producer and consumer of oil, as stated right here, at least in 2021. I think one of the things that will keep the Chinese economy from overtaking the US as the world's dominant economy is that China is so much more dependent on imports than the US. If an emergency ever came to pass, the US could become fully self-sufficient. Unfortunately, China cannot do that. China also relies heavily on the US patrolling the world seas to make sure that China can get their imports. In my opinion, I don't see any other country overtaking the US economy in my lifetime or the next.